Deep within a forgotten forest, shrouded in perpetual twilight, stood an ancient mansion. Reclaimed by nature, its crumbling stone walls were draped in ivy, like skeletal fingers reaching out from a forgotten grave. Twisted branches clawed at the decaying roofline, where once proud chimneys stood like broken sentinels. Locals spoke of the mansion in hushed whispers, their voices laced with fear and superstition. They told tales of a malevolent presence that haunted the house, a darkness that clung to its timbers and seeped into the very air. It was said that those who dared to spend a night within its walls were driven mad by unseen horrors, their sanity shattered like glass upon stone. The mansion stood as a testament to tragedy, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the world. Generations had come and gone, yet the stories persisted, each telling added to the legend, weaving a tapestry of fear and fascination that drew the curious and the foolish alike. But the mansion remained untouched, a silent guardian of its own sinister secrets. It waited patiently, shrouded in its cloak of shadows, for the next unsuspecting soul to cross its threshold.
I scoff at the local legends. I believe in facts, in tangible evidence, not in ghostly tales whispered around flickering campfires. My passion lies in uncovering the truth, in separating fact from fiction. And I see the haunted mansion not as a place of fear, but as a challenge to my skepticism. I've built my reputation on debunking myths, on bringing light to the darkest corners of history. I face down skeptics and cynics alike, my resolve unwavering in the face of doubt. I've explored ancient tombs and deciphered cryptic scrolls, my thirst for knowledge insatiable. And now I set my sights on the haunted mansion, determined to unravel its secrets. I've pored over countless historical records, searching for any mention of the mansion's past. I've interviewed elderly villagers, piecing together fragmented memories and whispered rumors. But the more I learn, the more the mystery deepens. The mansion seems to exist outside of time, a place where reality itself is malleable, shifting like shadows in the fading light. Despite the warnings and pleas from the locals, I packed my bags, my heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. I loaded my vintage camera and research equipment into my car, my fingers tracing the worn leather of my grandfather's journal. He had instilled in me a love for history, a passion for uncovering the hidden stories that lay buried beneath the surface of the world. As I drove towards the outskirts of the village, the sun began its slow descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the winding road. The air grew heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a musky aroma that spoke of decay and forgotten things. I could feel the weight of the forest pressing in on me, the silence broken only by the chirping of crickets and the distant screech of an owl. I parked my car at the edge of the woods, the ancient trees forming a natural archway that seemed to beckon me forward. Taking a deep breath, I slung my backpack over my shoulder and stepped into the unknown. The forest floor was soft beneath my feet, a carpet of decaying leaves and pine needles. The last rays of sunlight filtered through the dense canopy, creating an otherworldly glow that danced across the forest floor.
As twilight deepened, casting long, eerie shadows across the forest floor, Amelia finally reached the mansion. It stood before her, more imposing and menacing than she could have imagined.
The once grand facade, now just a decaying canvas of peeling paint and crumbling stone.
Vines, thick as a man's arm, snaked their way up the walls, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze. A shiver ran down Amelia's spine as she approached the front steps, their stone surface worn smooth by the passage of time. The air grew noticeably colder, as if a chill wind had swept through the trees. Overhead, a murder of crows took flight, their raucous cries echoing through the stillness of the forest.
With a deep breath, Amelia reached out and pushed open the heavy oak door.
It creaked ominously on its hinges, as if disturbed after years of slumber. The smell that greeted her was stale and musty, the scent of decay and neglect hanging heavy in the air. Dust motes danced in the faint light that filtered through the grimy windows, illuminating the interior in a ghostly pallor. Stepping inside, Amelia found herself in a grand foyer, or at least what was once a grand foyer. Now cobwebs draped every corner, and dust lay thick on the once polished floorboards. The remnants of furniture, eaten away by time and insects, stood like ghostly sentinels in the dim light.
A shattered chandelier, hanging precariously from the ceiling, its crystals long since scattered across the floor.
She ran her fingers along a dusty table, its surface cold and rough beneath her touch. The air was thick with the weight of forgotten memories, the echoes of laughter and sorrow, of joy and despair. It was as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for something or someone to break the silence.
Moving carefully through the house, Amelia felt an unsettling presence following her.
Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves against the windows sent a jolt of adrenaline through her. The silence was almost unbearable, broken only by the sound of her own breathing and the frantic beating of her heart. Yet there was something else, a faint whisper on the edge of her hearing, a sense of being watched, observed by unseen eyes.